ages, and that's his next step up. And I say so often, and a few people that are around him and they want to have a little digs. You know, for me, he's still in like his apprenticeship. He's learning, and he's doing a great job of that. As I say that, he fires in a maximum. And sometimes I think he forced it. He did a couple of years ago with Justin Pipe in the World Championships. You know, just forcing it at the wrong time and getting frustrated. Got to learn to just stay a little bit calmer, which he is learning, doing a good job as well.
Well, there's 4 perfect darts, just outside the triple 20, but a great leg to kick off the second round match here for Wes Newton, the number 8 seed. He won a Euro Tour event in Germany last year in Sindelfingen back in April. He also competed in the World Series events in Dubai and Sydney. And also had an epic battle at Ali Pali in the World Championships at the turn of the year. In the quarter-final, being beaten by Peter Wright, but that went to a deciding set, and Wright made it through and, of course, made it all the way to the final. Snakebite in action tonight against Richie Burnett. That should be another cracking game later on this evening.
Oh, double 7 for a 12-dart leg against the throw. A good opening leg from the warrior, Wes Newton. And on that performance, carrying on straight where he left off on Thursday night in Bournemouth at the Premier League. And it was good to see him get a win under his belt, because in that Premier League, you know, the matches just get harder and harder week on week.
Yes, he'd been beaten by Peter Wright in Liverpool in the opening week of the Premier League. The 36-year-old from Fleetwood in Lancashire.
You have to say with Wes's career, he's made a steady progress each year. You know, you can see a definite improvement in his game year on year, where a lot of people come into it and they have a good rush and then they level out and they go down a bit. But I think Wes, if you took his career over the last 10 years, probably even longer, each year he's made, you know, some years is a big improvement, but he's always made an improvement, whether it be big or even tiny.
And that's what everyone would be looking to do, wouldn't it? That's all you can ask for, really.
Absolutely. I tell them all, you know, like the youngsters, you know, you make a 2 or 3% improvement each year. 5 years' time, as Winstanley puts in his first maximum, and in 5 years' time, you know, you start hacking it with the big boys.
100.
Sporting a very sharp haircut there by the looks of it as well, Wes Newton.
45. Wes is 149.
Well, you see Wes over the left shoulder of Winstanley, not even looking what Winstanley was hitting, what way he was throwing. He's just standing there, lining his flights up, you know, being in his own place, as I call it.
So Newton then, for a 2-0 lead, wants double 12. Across the board to double 6, 3 o'clock. Double 3, awkward.
Well, is he going to stay there or go for the 18s? He's gone for the 18s. That leaves double 12, and this will get him right back into it. And you can see what he thought of that. That was a very low dart. Now, with the way Wes's darts kicks up, I was going to say he's got to attack it. If he's going to miss, he's got to bust it with the first dart. But that was a 19-dart leg, so Dean would have been disappointed with the scoring of that leg.
60.
But it is Newton with a 2-0 lead, and coming in with another big score here. Bounce out from a single 20, would have been a ton 40, but a good start for the number 8 seed to his Dutch Darts Masters campaign.
140.
And 8 more second round matches to come for you tonight, kicking off with Brendan Dolan against Ronnie Hybrex. Ronnie hoping to do better than his brother, who was knocked out a few moments ago by Michael Mansell. The reigning champion Kim Hybrex already out of the competition. Then Ian White against Terry Jenkins. Gary Anderson against Vincent van der Voort. That'll be a goodie. Kevin Painter against Christian Kist. Simon Whitlock up against Stuart Kellett. Really is quality right the way through the schedule tonight. Michael Van Gerwen against Steve Maish. Peter Wright against Richie Burnett. And Adrian Lewis taking on Jamie Lewis to round off the second round. And a big outshot here on the cards for Newton to go 3-0 up.
Well, he's done the perfect job in setting it up. Put the pressure on now. Dean will get at least one dart of the double. 20 for double top. Big dart, needs it. Can't afford to go 3-0 down, and that's a long way away. Well, where's it? Double 3 to win the previous leg. And that's covered up a good part of the double. And again, he's missed. You can see the anguish on his face.
A lifeline then for Winstanley. Great marker if he can just slide in underneath it. Another good one, third dart. Third time lucky? No. Well, you really have to take your chances against a man of Wes Newton's calibre if you are to have any chance of winning. But this awkward double 3 again. It's going 2 for double 2. So he's ended up in the madhouse at double 1.
Well, to be quite honest, those last 3 darts from Winstanley were absolutely superb. You couldn't put them any closer, all 3 touching the wire. That may have helped him being a long way away. Well, I expected that one to go in, to be quite honest. Perhaps this one will. No, and that's 6 darts of the double miss from Dean. Well, he's got to overpitch this. That's good. Now, that's a good guide. Getting closer. Finally, the double goes in, and it's Newton that takes a 3-0 lead. Now we'll see the character of Dean Winstanley. 6 darts of the double. I mean, 2-1 to 3-0. Massive, massive advantage for Wes Newton.
Yes, especially in a race to 6.
140.
And yes, that wasn't pretty at times, but it was Wes Newton who eventually got over the line to extend his lead over the man from Buxton in Derbyshire.
And that's a second breaker throw as well, so a double whammy.
100.
And Simon Whitlock
43.
or Stuart Kellett awaiting the winner of this one. Round 3 tomorrow. Whitlock and Kellett on tonight.
100.
Well, certainly the quickest game of tonight is going to be the Gary Anderson, Vincent van der Voort. So don't even bother to move off the settee, because if you do and make yourself a cup of tea, by the time you come back, it'll be finished. But Newton in a great position here. Doesn't need to go for this 51. I'd have preferred it to stay up there and just set it up, leave the double 12 perhaps. Because once you've got the first dart sitting in that treble 20 as plumb as it was, and you don't need to finish on a bullseye, then why switch? I know the crowd and TV love to see the big finishes, but just win the leg.
So double 8 for a 4-0 lead for Newton.
48.
Start on the 19s. Treble 19 will leave double 12. Sorry, the bullseye, my apologies. Well, it's starting to look a little bit ominous now for Dean Winstanley. They're good friends off the oche, but no love lost here when there's a job to be done and money to be earned.
The thing is that Wes has done the power scoring out of the 2, but he's given Dean chances at the end of the leg, but Dean's just not taken them. You know, I know it's only the odd dart at the bullseye. Mind you, had 6 darts at double top, and I think that may have left a little bit of scar tissue in there. It does hurt when you miss. If it's 1 dart, you know, it's hit or miss, but 6 darts, you know, tend to get it in your head. It's very hard to scar it completely.
Great crowd in again this afternoon, and maybe not as noisy and vocal at times as the German audiences we see, but they're appreciating what they're seeing on stage. And we've heard chants of Michael van Gerwen and Vincent van der Voort. They'll be cheering on the local heroes tonight, both of them in action. And of course Christian Kist, a new name on the PDC tour, former Lakeside champion, taking on Kevin Painter. It's going to be interesting to see how Christian gets on as he makes his way on the PDC circuit.
100.
Well, Newton, I know that perhaps Dean will only get 1 dart on a double, and then also know that Dean's been missing doubles when given the chance. So a good score would have put him in a good position, but he hasn't even done that. So it's a little bit easier on the mindset of Winstanley to take this out. Now he's just got to lay that on that darkness in.
60. As your ball, 143.
Well, it doesn't happen this time, but 143 for Wes.
123. Dean, you want 20.
So a chance to get a leg on the board, restore a bit of pride, and maybe start to eke his way back in the game. And he does so. I think that's relief more than anything. The gesture from Winstanley. He's finally got a leg on the board, but it is Newton with the darts here and kicking off the 6th leg very well again indeed, with a ton 40.
Well, Dean's got to start hitting 140s and 180s if he's going to get really back in this game. And again, this number,
125.
2 out of 6 darts he's thrown in this leg have been wayward. And if you're in front, you can throw them darts. When you're behind, you just can't afford to, especially against the throw.
60.
You know, that's 6 darts without a treble, as we can see on the mark board. This is where Dean's got to punish him. And the first dart has punished him. Just needs to over the top of that for a 140.
100.
That's better from Newton. We've already seen 5 of the seeds fall by the wayside this afternoon.
90. 106.
So another tournament that you sense could be wide open and there for the taking if someone can really turn on the style in the next couple of days. Newton wants double 16 for a 106 to go 5-1 up and within 1 leg of victory now.
Game on.
Yeah, Steve Beaton, Jamie Caven, Paul Nicholson, John Part and Kim Hybrex all out this afternoon.
45.
Well, up until now, it's a pretty solid performance by Wes Newton. I mean, Dean has not really put a lot of pressure on him, so he's made it quite easy for him.
100.
It's a lot easier to lead than it is to chase.
Yes, a mountain to climb now for Winstanley. Even if he were to win this leg, Newton would have the darts in the next leg, but Newton will look to get the job done as quickly as he can to avoid any doubts or jitters creeping in.
Well, Dean needs to a 140 and take the 111 out, get a bit of confidence going, get on a run. He just can't, you know, when he hits a good score, he's not following it up with another score, so you're not frightening your opponent. In the game nowadays, you know, you've got to start firing in big scores consecutively. Just on the odd occasion, he's not going to do anything against the experience, especially of someone like Wes Newton.
Yes, back for a potential 2-dart finish for a comfortable victory. Well, 24 leaves double 14, and he's done it. A 6-1 win for Wes Newton over Dean Winstanley. Newton will play Simon Whitlock or Stuart Kellett in round 3 tomorrow afternoon. That's one of 8 second-round matches we'll be bringing you this evening from 7 o'clock local time, 6 o'clock in the UK, and it's all live.